Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. Welcome everyone to another edition of Early Morning Word from One Church. I'm your host for this edition, a Monday edition, John Godbolt, and it is a crowd-pleasing pleasure to be able to come your way and share with you a nugget from the Word of God. Let me ask you a question. How do you handle your dry places? Now, before I get into that, you know I'm going to ask you to do 5 things like this, and then share it with somebody. Follow us, visit us at One Church, and I want you to subscribe to everything that we're doing at One Church, okay? Now, Psalm 63 says, O God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is. Wow, David is saying right here that he's in a place that's really dry, difficult. And you know, all of us must go through difficult places. God allows us to be tested. Now, testing is not the temptation or to sin. We're talking about tested to prove what's in us. Are we living for God or living for man? The military tests their personnel by doing maneuvers and trainings before conflict. The athletes that we know and see and love are tested. They practice, they drill, they lift weights, they work out so that they can be ready for the big game. Musicians and singers practice so that they can be ready for their performances. So are we tested. We are practicing. We're getting ready for a big war. It's coming, and God is preparing us for it. So here's what David said. I want to see and feel that presence in this place that I feel and see in the sanctuary. So here's what he says he's doing. In verse 2, he says, I want to see it in this place. Now in verse 3, he says, I will praise thee. Now it's getting better. You want something to happen, you got to shift the atmosphere. Verse 4, David says, I will bless thee and I will lift up my hands. Boy, this is getting good. Someone says, complaining is to Lucifer like worship is to God. In other words, Lucifer has no breath. He uses yours and mine to accomplish his dastardly deeds. So we will not give him our breath. We're going to take our breath and begin to worship God. So the worst place for that devil to be is in the presence of a worshiper. You want to change the atmosphere? Begin to worship God. When that evil spirit came from God to trouble Saul, David played and worshiped God and shifted the atmosphere. If an evil spirit sent from God to trouble Saul can be removed from a troubled man by a man of God who worship, how much more can God change your atmosphere when you go into worship? Remember, do what you can. Do what is possible and watch God do the impossible.